I directed the film. We had a couple of different cinematographers. Linds, I kind of credit as having been the sort of like visual commissar, kind of navigating, making the visual environment. And
And,
yeah, Linds on
and
set is my right hand because I feel, again, I'm like a theater person and a lot of my instincts lean towards theater. And also honestly, like a therapeutic theater even. And so Linds is, incredible background and expertise in film has been, yeah, like a huge guiding light for the project.
was your whole crew women?
No, mostly men, honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of like a little like, film broy maybe. And then I was just like, it doesn't have to be like this. Like, let's make your film.
Yeah. And what about your casting? Did
Casting.
you, let me back up for a second. So a lot of did you know many of the people involved with the production in advance? And did you know the cast in advance? Were you able to cast friends or?
So, in terms of casting, there was a little bit of, I had the play before. And so a couple of actors I worked with previously on the play, or it was people that I'd looked when I was trying to cast the play who maybe weren't available at the time, but I knew I kind of wanted to flag them. And so I circled back to them. We had the incredible support of a really talented casting director named Lois Drabkin, who was the one who thought of Sydney Flanagan, who'd been the star of Never Really, Sometimes Always, which, she won or she was nominated for an Independent Spirit Award and was a big hit at Sundance. And so that made the whole movie make sense. So I really credit Lois Drabkin for having contributed really materially. Casting is something that I feel pretty confident with. I felt like I had a pretty clear sense of who the characters ought to be. And that was pretty easy. In terms of the production stuff, again, like Linds is much more experienced on set than I am, where my background was in theater, which is very different. And so that was a big learning curve for me. And a lot of the people that we brought on, some of them we'd worked with before, but a lot of them, it was kind of pulling together a team. And that was the most challenging. I think the most challenging chapter of this for me has been like being on set and like running set, which was a totally new experience and different from theater.
It can be hard oftentimes like in film, especially like, just like doing it on your own and having to like hire people to help you, like, and coming from theater, you have a different vernacular. And so what you're gonna say like isn't like, maybe people don't know what you're saying or how to be collaborative or whatever, and it becomes this process that you have to work on and you have to massage out. It's like really easy on a film set to get your feelings hurt and be like, this person's being mean to me, but it's another thing to be like, that they don't mean it like that. This is the setting, this is what we need to do, whatever. Like, it's like part of these other things, like, and miscommunications can happen so quickly obviously on a film set, that it's just like, I wanted to make sure that Phoebe's voice like came through and that like what she was intending to say was happening, just because she hadn't made a film before and the words she was using were like theater words or like whatever, doesn't mean that like I still like saw the collaboration there, when oftentimes I feel like in film, not on this one, but like maybe in others, that like you can start to have this disconnect if, like, for instance, people I've been mentored by before, like they've gotten into trouble on set because they what they're saying isn't what they mean. Like, I've worked with editors who just are kind of more temperamental, and so like it starts to like be this tension where it's like, no, I'm trying to help you or I'm trying to be collaborative, right? And so like I've just been so grateful that Phoebe and I's relationship has been one in which like we understand each other, we understand what we're saying, and even like and like finding ways to do that together.